Can you guys hear me? I don't know why any of the audio to the intro stuff wasn't playing. Oh well. It's been a panic the last half hour. I was doing pre-test and my internet was just crashing right and left, just nonstop. I rebooted it 3 times. It's still crashing. I'm going over to Verizon tomorrow to deal with a phone issue, but apparently I'm going to complain about my internet as well. So anyhow, greetings and welcome, fellow knights. Well met here back in the regal hall of my basement. I hope you're all well on that side of the screen. I am tired. The jet lag or everything kicked in the last couple of days. I didn't sleep last night or the night before at all. Last night I slept about 6-7 hours. But I hope you're all well. Let me just kind of get a sneak peek at who's here. So we have Artie from Aus America Model Railway, who is in Croatia. We have got Sir Greg from Great Northern, Sir Andy the Hot Dog Pilot, Sir Ivo Fonson. We have Sir Jean of Ricard. We have Sir Graham of Leamington Station. We have Dame Mariah Salazar. We have Sir Mick, the Royal Barkeep, is here and the bar is open. Sir Clive of Newland Railway is here. Sir Simon of SJ Train World is here. Sir Dirk of Southern Cross Rail System. Sir Tim of Dowd, our most honored and respected CEO. Sir Titi Ali as Belgien. Bonsoir, ça va? And Sir Tom of Couples is here. We have Sir Corey, the Train Buff Boy 47, and we have Sir Chris of the Valleys is here, and Sir Dan of Clintonville Model Railroad is here, and that's everybody on my list right now. So I am using StreamYard, so I have to bounce things around a little bit. So I'll be looking off camera a bit more than normal. So it's nice to be back in the basement, and Joyce and I had an amazing epic trip. It had its downsides as well, like a lot of things will. Travel. So many weird things. It's hard to explain where to begin, but when we arrived at Frankfurt, Joyce's bag was missing, and we waited till everybody was gone. The carousel had like 6 bags. None of them were Joyce's. We walked around all the baggage carousels to see if maybe it wound up. There was nothing there, so we finally went over to baggage claim, and the guy took the scan of the little barcode they put on our luggage, says it's here. It was unloaded, and it's here. And he had to deal with a couple other people, but then he finally walked with us, and we walked back over the baggage carousel, and lo and behold, Joyce's bag is just magically sitting there out of the blue. Somebody clearly had taken it and then said, oh wait, this isn't my bag, and dropped ours off and grabbed theirs. But every high-speed train and some of the regionals was late, canceled, or delayed. I talked to some people at Deutsche Bahn. They said, yes, the last year or so and for the next couple of years, it's just going to be ridiculously chaotic and bad. They're hoping that within the next 2 years, they will get everything stabilized and back to their level of higher standards. But we missed connections. We had trains or even just individual cars we had reserved seats and canceled on us. So anytime we did a long train trip, there was some negativity. Hey, Sir Eric and Sir Billy from Von Don Eisenbahn. And thank you. But yeah, we had some epic adventures though. So the traveling was a bit of a nightmare, and but once we got to the places, we had a great time. Obviously, we spent over a week. We spent 5-6 days at Jean Ricard's house, and then Jean Ricard, Joyce, and I went on to Copenhagen for 3 days before Jean went home, and we went on to Rostock. While we were in Copenhagen, we met Simon from SJ Train World, and that was a wonderful evening. He gave us a great little tour of Copenhagen while Jean was dealing with family matters, and then he took us out to his club's layout. That if you know Simon, SJ Train World's channel, you've seen him working on it at times. We got to see it. Joyce and I were both heavily impressed, but I mean, really, I was impressed with how impressed Joyce was. Joyce was really digging it. And of course, we had a wonderful gift from Simon, who gave me some Danish cars for free, which I was touched by. And of course, if you've heard the story, I actually originally said no, not because I didn't want them, but because by that time I was worried my luggage was getting full. And so after a couple of offers, I politely said no. Simon started to put them back, and Joyce just said, we're just going to have to get a bigger bag. And so we happily took them, and we're quite honored to have them from Simon's friend, Peter. Hello, Mon is here. Hey, Mon. Lord Mon is here. Yeah, we came home to heavy downpours and a heat wave here, but obviously heat is relative. We've been around 35, 36 Celsius since we've been home. So I haven't gone outside. I've been last day and a half, I've been staying in the house. Well, 48 hours now. It's really been 2 full days since we got back. I hung out with my grandson yesterday for a bit. He actually, my daughter and he came up to the airport to pick us up because my other daughter had to work. And so they picked us up. So we hung out with them a bit Wednesday and then again yesterday for a bit. Yeah, it's where do you begin? What do you talk about? We'll just kind of get things going. And then as it comes up, it was, there were just so many cool things. I got to swim in the Kattegat of, off the shores of Denmark. And then, I went swimming 2 different times in the Baltic Sea. It was just epic. One of the coolest moments for me, among hundreds of cool moments, is if you ever look at a map of Denmark, there's this little bit where Denmark slowly bends and bends and bends and comes to a point at the top. At the very top, there's a little point. I stood at that point. Joyce and I stood at that point. We waded into the water where the Kattegat's flowing this way and the Skagerrak is flowing this way. So you got 2 different bodies of water with 2 different currents crashing into each other right at the very tip of Denmark. So this is a place... the town is called Skyen, and I believe the point is called Greien. And so Joyce and I had a blast with that, and it was so cool to be at that place. Hey, there's Sir Andy of March West Junction. Great to see you. 5:08 a.m. there. Oh, too early, although I was up at 4:54 yesterday and 5:30 this morning. So... yeah, it's just, and all the train shops we visited. And I put up 3 videos of some of the train shops we visited. The last 4 or 5 we did not film, either because they were really small and were people there and it was just hard to move around, or the owner really didn't want us filming. And then the last one, I think the owner wouldn't have minded, but Joyce and I were tired. We had gone swimming. It was very hot, and we were ready to go home. So we just went in, looked for something. They didn't have it. And we kind of left. We bought one little thing from the shop and then we left. So, hey, Sir Randall of Ellison, nice to have you. So it was it was an epic. I mean, when you're gone for a month, it's going to be epic. And we just had so many experiences. And no matter which one you talk about, you're going to go, wait, I should have talked about this one. So we'll just see what pops into the head as we get going. Let's go and look at what trains I have, because that's the big bit. I know I posted a video yesterday showing all the stuff I got. That was supposed to go up Wednesday night, but it took 3 hours to burn it and then 3.5 hours to upload it onto YouTube because my internet's being so bad. So I posted today the first impression video of that steamer I bought. And then on Sunday will be another first impression video of one of the locomotives you're going to see today. So let me just get to those locomotives and show you what we got today. So I am running pretty much all the stock I got in Germany and Denmark. I cannot think of any rolling stock that I bought that is not on the track today. But in front of you is a new Class 01. I do have a Class 01, and I need to do something here because this will drive me crazy while I'm dealing with. So I'll move this over here for now so I don't have that stupid logo on my face. But yeah, down below is this Class 01, which I bought. And there's a great story with that. I bought it at the Jerslan, and Jean Ricard probably knows the proper name better, but it was the Jerslan, was it narrow gauge model train museum? Or I think it was it a narrow gauge museum? And so, anyhow, there's a club there, and this is the club Jean belonged to. It was just a bunch of nice people there who run it, and they get donations. Now, they have a large exhibition layout there for visitors who come to see and play with trains, but it's 2-rail. And so every now and then people just give them donations of trains, or club members die who ran 3-rail at home, and they donate their stuff to the club. It gets left to the club. So they got a lot of 3-rail stuff. Well, what they do is the 3-rail stuff they can't use because they're 2-rail, they sell. And so 100% of the purchase price of anything you buy from the stuff they sell, 100% of it goes to operating the club, the museum. So I was happy to make my contribution. So I bought this steamer. It's gorgeous. And then after we bought the steamer, I started talking about what cars I had to go with it. And I just decided to buy a set of cars. Whoops. The first car is one I had from Horst, the guy in Bamberg from a couple of years ago. The first car is from Horst. The next 2 cars I bought in Aalborg, Denmark. Then there's going to be a red dining car, which doesn't officially go with this set. And then the last 2 cars. So there's 4 green passenger coaches that are all part of a set Märklin was selling. They had the passenger, or they had the luggage car, but I didn't buy it because I thought I had one, and I had one. It's not the exact matching one, but it works. And they did not have the red dining car that is part of the 5-car set Märklin, 6-car set Märklin released to go with these with the latest 01 they have. So let's get this guy in motion. I did install the steamer. I will add some stuff to him later, but I'm just going to get trains running for now. He runs quietly and smoothly. He's a real dream. Hey, Sir Andrew 156 Shortbread Express, welcome in. And which Christopher is that? Sir Christopher of Sakura Densha came in. Yep, there he is. Hey, Christopher, great to have you. I hope you're well, my friend. I've missed talking to you on Wednesdays. Okay, now the other new loco the second of 3 locos I have, although I bought this one my last full day in Germany. I went to a shop in Frankfurt, and the guy laughed at me for buying it. he laughed at me. Like, oh, you want this one with the gold pantographs? Well, I wanted a Class 85, and I've liked the livery on this since it came out early last year or late 2023. I forget when. But this is also a very nice, and a first impressions video of this will be out on Sunday. And it's going to pull some freight because that's what 185s do. But it ran in very well. Very pleased with both these new locos. Unfortunately, the third loco that I bought in Europe is not here. We're still waiting for it to arrive. It was supposed to be here today, but delayed in customs. It'll be here Monday. So I just chose this white Class 101 because I don't have any Danish. But I got 4 cars from Simon. 2 of them were control cabs, and I can't double up the control cabs because they don't have couplers, and they have no way to add couplers without jerry rigging. They don't have a coupler spot. I'd have to get a whole different bogie or setup arrangement. So I'm running 3 of those cars together here. They're gorgeous cars. I think these would be considered Era 5. Simon, correct me if I'm wrong, but these are Era 5. But so I'm running 3 of them. I have had a little bit of an uncoupling issue between the cars and the locos I've run it with, but yeah, I saw you were at Crew. Well, I thank you, and I want to honor Peter and when I get the full train, because I do want to pick up a couple more of the passenger cars. However I can find them, I want to pick up a couple more. There they go in the back. These are gorgeous cars. They're from a Danish company that I believe is out of existence now called Tog Modelle. They are gorgeous cars. I am so grateful that you gave them to me. I never did not want them. I was only saying no because I worried about packing. But once Joyce said, we'll just get another bag, which we didn't need anyhow. We managed to get everything in the suitcases and still have. I had 9 pounds to go, and Joyce had 8 pounds of spare room in our bags to go. So we got everything home safe. Although the people at security at Frankfurt Airport were a little mystified by all the electronics I had. Okay, now, so I did order a Vectron, although I would still like to get the one. I don't want the Noab. But like Jean Ricard put up a video where he was running the Danish locomotive I would like. I just couldn't find one in 3-rail available. Except unless I would have stolen Jean's, but he had it under lock and key while I was there. So they're gorgeous cars. I love them. And I love the cab control car. The cab controls are gorgeous. All right, now the next train running is going to be another freight, and it's got 4 of the new freight cars I added, or 3. Is it 3 or 4? It doesn't matter. But also a locomotive I brought back from Germany, but I took it with me to Germany. My 249 here. This died during a test run about 4 months ago. And the waiting line for getting it repaired was like 6-7 months turnaround. And I just said, I'm going to Germany. I'll find a shop and maybe they'll fix it for me. And the shop I went to in Koblenz, day 1 we're in Koblenz. We went to the shop called Rosler's. If you watched the video, you heard about it. He agreed to try to fix it. And he was going to charge me 60 euros, 40 for the motor, 20 for the labor. If it was the motor that was bad, because everything else was working, lights, everything else. And I took it apart and wondered if there was a contact or a wire was off. I couldn't find it. He took 6 days. It took him 6 days of working, but he finally found a small contact point on the motherboard, the circuit board, I should say, and he fixed it. And so when we came in the last day we were in Koblenz before we had to leave in the morning, we walked in. And he said, I've got great news for you. It's fixed. I said, that's wonderful. How much do I owe you? And I'm like, 100 euros will be fine. Whatever you charge is fine. He's like, it's free. I was like, you spent a week and you yourself admitted it was hard to find the faulty wire. You spent all that time working on it, and he did it for free. He wouldn't even take a 50. He just said, it's free. It's a gift to you. And that was it. So my 249 is home and working again. I can't tell you how happy this is. That means I am down to only one locomotive that is currently not working, and that is my Czech 371. And I can't figure out what's wrong with that, and I need to send that back to the guy who converted it for me. All right. So, I forgot to point out, but yeah, there's 4 cars, including a small little reefer wagon at the back of that train that is from the shop in Aalborg called Hobby Caden. They are celebrating their 20th anniversary. The guy started that shop when he was 23 years old. He's 43 now. He started that shop at the age of 23. It's going strong. It predominantly Danish stock, but amazing, amazing stuff. Hey, did I see Sir Andy 81 is here? I know I'm babbling stories here. But anyhow, you can see the 2 flip top or whatever they're called wagons, plus the extra tarpaulin covered wagon car on those. Okay, now the next one is just also fun. This is something I fixed before I went to Germany, so it's its first time on my channel a little while. I have got my Beethoven locomotive. Its problem has been it was missing traction tires and had not been running well, but I've got new traction tires on it. It was a trick and a half to get it going. And I am running some Lufthansa Express coaches with it just because they've never run on this layout. They've never, whoops, there he goes. Okay. They have not run on this layout. And so this is part of Herb's collection. It's the last cars from Herb's collection that that are finally running on my layout. Every other piece of rolling stock he's given me, the beer cars and the flatbeds and freight cars and passenger cars, everything else has run, but those guys have not run until now. And then way in the back, I couldn't decide what to run the short lane, so I'm running the other control cab of the Danish cars, the Danish state cars, the DSB, with a little IC shunter, intercity shunter. So it's just a silly little bit, but I'm running so many silly little trains today. Hey, Jason from Colonel Cottonbelt, how are you? So let me start bouncing around with, now that I got the trains in motion, I got to slow that dude down. First of all, I got to slow that dude down. That's a little too fast there, dude. And I will try to get some good cameras going here. Just give me a minute. And let's see, which one do I want to start with? Let's go with, there it is. Oh, there's nobody there. Somebody will be there in a second. That's a nice shot. That really is a nice shot. I did have to, the cats got on my layout a couple of times, I'm sure, and I had to fix some things. Going to get your food. All right, Lee. Now, I do apologize for people that I am running, and yes, I'll get the floor stuff going in a second, that I'm running both my freighters in the same direction. Normally, I try to have them going opposite directions, but not today. So on the floor, I'm running the Azuma and the Scotrail. Well, I thought I was going to run the Scotrail or the Azuma. It went 3 inches and stopped. And we got a problem. Come back here. Dudes. Okay. Now that was weird. Sorry about that. But now everybody's moving. Hey, Raymond Legs is here. Sir Raymond Legs is here. All right. Well, I am 4 weeks out of touch. My track definitely needs some clean. A lot of dust and cat stuff. I did a quick vacuum, but I probably needed to do some wiping down of the rails. But otherwise, and yes, I have been 4 weeks without watching YouTube videos. Every now and then I try to catch up with a couple, but yeah, 4 weeks not watching anything, because Joyce and I wake up in the morning, we eat breakfast, we're gone, we come back late at night, and we go to bed. And the only time I had time for YouTube is when I was posting a couple of the videos I stayed up editing. Yeah, they are, from the minute I put them on the layout on Wednesday night, Simon, they glowed beautifully. I think every now and then you might see a flicker, but well, it is. And the more people you're subscribed to, the harder it is. But I am oh, now how is that camera tilted again? God darn it. God, you'd think I didn't check anything, but yeah, this is acting up pretty annoyingly. Whoops. Well, we're going to have to watch them through the trees now. Broke the little tabletop tripod with that one. Ugh. Yeah, Man, I'm, I am very happy with what I did with it. I'm very happy. I don't want to sound ego at all. But coming home, I walked down in this basement and it was like I had forgotten how much work I had done on this layout. I came home, came downstairs, and was just the normal, which was the pink and the brown. I'm like, why does my layout look so different? And I had, oh yeah, I put all that grass on it the last 3 months before I went to Germany. I had literally in my brain had not acknowledged how much work I had done, even though I did it and I showed in the videos. When I came home Wednesday and then came down here Wednesday night to start setting up the live stream, my brain was like, this doesn't look like my layout. I was like, oh yeah, because I put all this grass on it. It was really a very weird sensation. It was a very weird sensation to go, oh wait, yeah, I did all that. Well, unfortunately, that was one of the cameras that I found laying on the floor when I got home. And yeah, apparently it's broken. And it broke all the way when I went over there trying to get it to stand up straight. But yeah, we just have awful internet. Even going through StreamYards, my internet signal is, you're struggling. So I have to go to our internet people and say, I'm tired of this. Down on the Chris Hale's Heritage Railway World Tour. Joyce is sneaking around in the background. She's trying to be in stealth mode. Well, we went to Verizon because they were offering 10 times the up speed that our local was and cheaper. And normally it works great, but I had about a 3-week in a row span back in the spring where 3 live streams in a row, it was crashing. And then, so I do test. And today the testing was just really bad and it kept crashing. And I've rebooted the box. I've rebooted it. So I got to find out what's going on because it's driving me crazy. I hate using StreamYard. It's supposed to be dedicated up. But there goes that. There we go. There's that new loco. This is the controversial one. That loco there is the controversial one. I had so many people who, when it came out, hated on it. There it is. I think it's cool looking. I love it. It's cool looking. But that said, I get some of the complaints. You know, the gold pantographs are a little ostentatious, shall we say? They don't like the gold pantographs and couplers on it. To me, the only thing that bothers me about it, it's not, you know, the complaints people are making are like, well, it's not realistic. Well, it's not a real locomotive. The type of locomotive is real. It's a class 185, but the livery is fake. There was never a loco with that livery. The pantographs being gold are what a lot of people hate, as well as the couplers being gold. I don't worry about that. The only thing that gets to me about it is there's absolutely no legal, mechanical, and you know, all the stuff that's written along the bottom of a loco, you know, the weight, the classifications, the codes, the various legal and various bits of information that are all printed. You know, this isn't a loco, but are all printed along the bottom here. It has none of that. Exactly, Jason. But, you know, the thing is, most German modelers and Märklin people, I won't say they're rivet counters, but there is a line of purism that runs through them, that things need to be accurate. But in the end, I like it. I'm happy with it. And I got it for a very cheap price, which is about 150 euros less than when it was released. Because I even got it cheaper than I would have from Lipa if you count the shipping. I had to pay VAT on it, but the VAT was still less than I would have had to pay for shipping. Because Lipa's had it on sale for a while to get rid of them. Yeah, that's right. It was made to celebrate the European Soccer Championships, the National Continental Soccer Championships. And I follow the Euros. I root for, in order, Germany, England, Denmark, Scotland, the Netherlands. And at the bottom of my teams I root for, or I don't root for, the only teams in Europe I root against is that big country in the east of Europe that extends into Asia. And then I tend to root against Spain, Portugal, and France. Yeah, rivet counters don't allow freelance. Germans, the average German Märklin guy will allow some freelance, but they're not fond of the fantasy stuff. But, you know, everybody has their point where even when we say we're not rivet counters, there are certain things we're rivet counters about. I have my areas where I'm a bit of a purist. It's like all my Regio bonds have to be the proper consist. I am now, you know, I went to Germany with a shopping list. Oh, nobody's there. I went to Germany with a shopping list and I only found one of the three things. Technically, I found two of the four things on my shopping list, but my shopping list was I wanted an 01 or an 03, and I found both an 01 and an 03. I found a bunch of 01s at this museum, and I could have bought an analog one that was easily converted. I could have bought it for $80. But this one was already digital and had great sound, light, steam functions. I will actually put some fluid in it and run the steam for a bit. But next time it passes me, I'll put some stuff in it. And yeah, if the fantasy scheme appeals to me, then I'll do it, like all my Beatles stuff. But so yeah, like the second of those silver cars, that's new. And then these two red hoppers, those are new. And then the little car at the end is a little Danish, you'll kind of see it. It's a Märklin car that they made for this guy celebrating his 20th year as a Märklin shop. But this 01 runs very smoothly. I am quite pleased with it. As it's coming right at you right now. I've got it running fairly slow. because it is a high-speed locomotive. I'm going to stop it when it gets next to me here. And but I was hoping to get a Danish locomotive, but it's not coming until... I don't know if you guys are hearing that little steam whistle. Now let you guys watch all the guys. Let's go to multi-view for now, and then let your eyes go crazy with how many different things to watch. There's my little rag. Did I throw it over here? Oh, there's a good rag. Oh. All right, let's see. There you go. We got them smoking. Choo-woo! I've got 3 DSG cars. One is the red and blue. So where are you? Let's see over here. I've got the Roco, which I still believe is DSG, isn't it? I've got the Mitropa Speisewagen. Then I got that one. Which goes perfectly with the tin plates that I have. And then the other one is on the table. Hey, Dwight, you don't have any hot water. Yikes, that's not cool. Yeah, it does put out the smoke. But it also doesn't last long. So let's catch it right here. Hey, Sir Tom of Houston. Nice to have you here. Coming at you. And then it'll show up just down in that corner there. There he is, going up the ramp. The two Hecht cars. Oh, that's interesting. Hang on. So this guy would work with it. Because to be honest, I think I like this red better than the, well, they're kind of close. But hey, Center Bounty, thank you very much. You're also back home stateside. I like this one because I got it from Herb, and it is Bamberg. He had a couple of different trains where all the signs said Bamberg. Lucky him. But not too obvious. Okay. Well, I did order a Fleischmann. I found a Fleischmann one that is the exact same thing as the Märklin, the same style as the Märklin one. But let's get my ugly face off the camera and see what we got rolling. But yeah, I wanted to run. So everything I brought back from Germany is running. It's on the layout. There you can see the two, I forget what they're called, the rolling cover, hoppers. Don't need a Schlafwagen though, Raymond. And give me a second here while you guys are watching that. Let me find the box. This new box. Da 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 da. But we got a little steam. Do I have a diesel guy out there? Yeah, I got at least one diesel out there. And then you can watch Beethoven stare at you as he comes around the corner. So let me go back to my big screen again. So this is the 6-car set that, 6 individual cars rather than releasing it as a box set. But I think they did release it as a box set too, but they did them individually. And I got the top 2 and then 3 or 4 and 5. And then I had this one here or something similar enough to it that I didn't feel the need to buy that one. To be honest, I thought one of my DSGs looked like that, but I was wrong because I don't mess with them enough. But I've got a Fleischmann version of that DSG coming. But this is the 6-car set they released. It was released within the last year, so it's a new set of cars. And I got them at a good price. I would have gotten them cheaper from Lipa, but I liked the set, and we enjoyed the shop that we were at, Hobby Caden in Aalborg. It's a huge shop. Now, probably 50% of their stock is Danish, but they had a lot of cool stuff there. Hoenerbijns was epic. Let's get some trains going. No, not that one. There's nobody there right now. Now let's just stick on the 11-lane view for now. But now that I've done all those trees and grass, but yeah, we visited easily 10 model train shops, of which we filmed 4 and posted those videos up. The other ones, it was too small, there was not much to film, although we probably should have given them the respect, the due, and filmed them anyhow. Hey, Tom's Märklin Train Layout. Welcome in, Sir Tom. Great to have you here. But yeah, even though these are all El Cheapo trees, my base grass stuff, I think comes out. This is scatter grass. And yes, I'm still going to go back and add weeds and things. But to be honest, if you want to duplicate a German rail line and what it looks like, it's grass and trees with wildflowers occasionally. You don't necessarily see a lot of bramble and bushes along the train lines. It's trees, sometimes very heavily clumped together, and then you get some open spaces and you'll see wildflowers. Joyce and I were very, very, very focused on looking at what the sides of the rails looked like as we traveled to come back to do the next stage here. I will be doing some static grass because Joyce bought me this for Father's Day in Denmark at the shop in Aalborg. As you can tell, we bought a lot of stuff at that shop in Denmark. So I got the Noke Grassmaster 3.0 Profi. Now, if you ever look at a Woodland Scenics, they're basically the same thing as this, just a lower level. They're sort of like their Grassmaster 1, the non-Profi level. And if you do worldwide or World War Scenics, WWS from the UK, it's the exact same thing. It just gets, instead of the Noke livery, it's the WWS stuff is on it. But it's the exact same thing, except the Noke version comes with a little bit more to it. But the quality is the same because it's the exact same thing. You can compare handles, wires, shape, size, dimensions. It's the one that WWS has is the exact same thing. This came out first. And so I don't know. It's like you can buy some cleaning cars and that are actually Piko, but they're released under other company names in the UK. You're heading to the Adriatic Sea. Yep. Yeah, and we hear about it in the UK that certain steamers can't run because of the fire risk, because it's been too dry, what have you, what have you. Let's do that quad. So yeah, I am really happy to have this because, God, a year ago at this time, I would have never thought I was ready to start static grassing. Heck, January and February, I would not think that all of a sudden I'm ready to start static grassing. I'm still trying to psych myself up to work on the Fowler car, but I have bought several things. And now that I've got this first level. Actually, it's 2 levels of grass down. Then I've got to make some hills, and I've got about a 2-foot long section over here that still needs the base level of turf, then grass, and then whatever weeds and wildflowers I put in between. But I want to get to the Fowler car. And also, I have been so motivated working on the layout this year that I'm still trying to get. I've got the first couple of scenes of Matt Clark series that I promised I'd release this year, but it probably won't be till the fall, maybe late summer. I've got the season basic scripted out, basic plot line scripted out. And I want to get the introductory scene and the first scene done. And I just keep adding more stuff and then doing little bits of readjustings of the plot. But I'm still expecting that I'll have a Matt Clark series started by the end of the year. I don't know that I'll do a Christmas special because I'll probably be still in the middle of the season, because from now on, a Matt Clark series will not be, I will not be pressuring myself to do episode 1 this week, episode 2 next week, episode 3 next, following week. It's as I get an episode done and feel the urge, I'll put it out. So there might be 3 days between episodes. There might be 3 weeks between episodes. I'm just no longer I'm not trying to force myself to fit a time frame. Randall, I did watch your last 2 episodes. They were very funny. I loved how you got some of the characters. I'm going to tease you here. You need to come to my voice class. I got to help you work on your voices. But it was very cool. And of course, anytime somebody like you takes off with what I've done with Matt Clark, I love it. Yeah, I've not seen Dino either. So it was cool to see Nancy Lil Clark, the great granddaughter of Matt and Lil. That was cool to see. But I also enjoyed, the biggest thing is what we should have done is I could have edited some of the older pictures of Four Finger Bill for you and give you a more modern looking one instead of you just using the old Five Finger Bill picture. But yeah, tell me about it. I've tried to teach Joyce accents for years too. And you've heard her Trudy, which is her best German accent. Schmucky, it is so wonderful. Dino, there he is. Sir Dino is here. Yeah, Artie's had, it's been great trying to keep up with Artie's trip. Again, the worst thing is, yeah, we're posting stuff about our trip, but unfortunately, it's hard for us to keep up with everybody else's stuff that's going on because Hot Dog Pilot Andy is taking off somewhere. And I'm going to turn the sound and the smoker off on that one, but I'm just loving this 01. I am so thrilled to have that 01. I don't know if I sounded thrilled in the video that went up today, and it's only because the thrill, Jean Ricard would have to speak up to it, is the thrill of buying it, but then we already opened it up and ran it in. So really my first impressions video was a second impressions video. Because we already opened it and ran it in, and I already had the giggly, oh my God, this is so cool stuff. So today it's like 4 weeks of travel, and okay, here it is. It looks cool. Let's get it running. But I do love this 01. It's like the Christmas one. It's a smooth runner. It's probably the same model, just my Christmas one is repainted. Although I think my Christmas one has a bit more detail on it in terms of little appliques and piping and so forth. So how have you been, Dino? You have another 2 months worth of travel. Joyce and I will say this, for the first time in all my years of travel, I was happy, 100% happy to be home. I'm always happy to be home, but when I come, I'm always sad to leave. I hate leaving. When I've been in Germany or the UK, well, mostly Germany all these years, but obviously the UK or Australia, I hate leaving. I've loved it. There's more stuff I want to do. There's stuff I didn't get a chance to do. But this time when we came home, even though it was a shorter trip than a couple of years, I was ready to be home. Partly missing my family and grandson, but also just there was a lot of stress in the trip. There was a lot of, oh, hey, the little dude stopped running. Hang on, we got to move somebody. We got to kick him in the butt and find out why he's not doing his job. Ah. Come on, mouse, get over here. That's right. You get moving. Schnell. Move. You don't get to be on the live streams very much. You got to show off, you little dude. The little shunter had not been moving. I had to give him a little more juice. I didn't even have to give him a push. I threatened him with a push, but yeah, he's pulling. I love these Danish cars. I want two more. I want two more of the passenger cars. One more with the white doors. But what are the odds of getting those? I already checked American eBay. No luck. Actually, I lie. I found one, and the guy wanted $87 for it plus 47 shipping. 47 shipping is not going to cut it. 87 for a car that lights up, that's normal. Joyce would agree with you a lot more than I would, Andy 81E. I don't, as long as the bed's comfortable. For example, my bed, the first Wednesday night and Thursday night, I have not been comfortable in it. Sleeping in all the beds I slept in Europe, I've come home, my pillows feel like rocks, and the bed feels just like a cement slab. I've got to get used to my bed again. And I slept well on the trip. The only time I didn't sleep well is when the temperature was too hot. Because we had that in a hotel, and we had that a couple of nights in our, was it Lübeck? I think it was Lübeck, where it got warm at night, and no, not Lübeck. Where'd we stay? Oh, Copenhagen. The hotel in Copenhagen did not have air conditioning, and it got warm at night. They gave us a fan. Greg, it is a new bed. It is a new bed, and I tend to prefer firm mattresses. And I liked the bed before I went away, but coming back to it and all the soft cushions I slept on, my bed's not feeling great. The mattress isn't feeling great right now. It'll take me a couple of days and I'll adjust. But yeah, one of the funs with the train was rating Jean Ricard's track and him setting some things up, but me getting on the floor in his one parlor and building that 3-track the 3-track setup we ran and watching him run some of his Danish stuff while I ran my Class 01 here and the 4-car set when we did the live stream from Jean's house. That was very cool to set up the track and see his train collection. That was very cool. Dino, it is because my internet was struggling and I was crashing in my test. My internet was crashing and freezing up because when I go straight through OBS, I'm broadcasting at above 1080p. Some cameras are actually 4K, and my upload, even though I'm hardwired into it, just was struggling again like it does now and then. And but my daughter said our internet started acting up while we were in Germany, and she had to reboot it a couple of times. But apparently since she's rebooted it, I've noticed when I'm on my laptop in the living room, which is normally not a problem, the internet is being a little wonky. Tom, we stayed at a place called the Cabine Copenhagen. The Cabine hotels specialize in small, relatively inexpensive for where they are, hotel rooms that are sort of like rooms on a cheap cruise ship. At least that's how they advertise it. But yeah, they did not have air conditioning. Now, we went down to Jean's room because we were on the 9th floor and Jean was on the 4th floor. His room was fine. Ours was boiling. Heat rises. So that was a little hard for us to put up with. Ever since I did those couple of running sessions where I had the doubled up, and I did some camera angles where you see the trains going through these two little hills, for lack of a better term, these little two rises. I've liked that shot, so now I want this camera kind of focusing on that. It's time to wake up and check out. All right, Simon. Yeah. Oh, that was fun too. Yeah, we had the day Joyce and I had to leave Copenhagen, and Jean Ricard was on the 4th floor. We were on the 9th floor. Fire alarm at 6 o'clock because some idiot thought they could get away with smoking in their room. I hope they busted the idiot. But Joyce and I had to go down 9 flights of stairs. And the funniest thing is when the fire alarm went off, how many people on our floor ran to the elevators? And Joyce has been woken earlier than she wanted to be awakened. So she's not a happy camper already. So she is yelling at people as they're running past us and pushing on the buttons of the elevator. The elevator doesn't work in a fire, you idiots. Oh, you had so many people trying to get those elevators to work. Oh, what is going on? Why isn't the elevators don't work in a fire? You have to take the stairs. And you can see who took the alarm seriously and who didn't, because there were people down there in their PJs. There was one girl in her underwear and a nightshirt, another girl in a pair of, what she sleeps in, little joggy pants and that, blah, blah. One guy was in his boxers and nothing else. And then there's other people in their hat, their jacket. They've got their luggage. Like, well, we're just going to check out now anyhow. But yeah, we got to go see Simon's club's layout. That was epic. Like I said, I don't think anybody could have been as jaw-dropped as I was, but Joyce, I think Joyce asked a lot more questions than I did. Joyce was going, hey, Simon, what's this? And how do you work with this? Are you going to move this here? Are you going to do? And I'm just like, wow, Joyce doesn't ask those questions about my layout, but she was seeing a professional layout now. It was very cool. And Simon was a wonderful tour guide. He took us around Copenhagen on a nice walking tour, very nice, while Jean was dealing with what Jean had to deal with his aunt. And so it was just a very lovely evening. It would have been, as always, it would have been nice to hang out more. Unfortunately, we couldn't. And then I got my best compliment came in Denmark. But Joyce told you that you could get a shadow station. No, Joyce asked me, why don't I have a shadow station? I said, that was in the original plans. And then a certain person said, we need storage under your tables. And that killed the shadow station, and he thought of a helix. But yeah, it was about 60, it was about 5 degrees warmer than it was in Australia. Water temperature was colder than in Australia, but I went swimming at I think the place is called Bosum. No, that's in Germany. No, is that the way? John, correct me. But it was like Bosum or Bosum, something like that. Bosum, which is sort of just east of Abeltoft, where we were living with Sean. And I went diving in that ice cold water and had a blast. I love to swim. You put me near a body of water and you have to hold me back from diving in. River, lake, ocean. If I'm near water, I want to be in it. It has to look pretty skaggy before I'll go, ew, I don't want to go in that water. So, but we dove in and I swam around and played in the water for a bit, did 2 or 3 dives, whatever it was. Came out and there's this family because it was the sun temperature was in the 60s. The air temperature was in the low 50s. And there's this family sitting there because it's a beautiful day. A lot of people are out. And they watched me play in the water. And when I came out, the woman was complimenting me on doing that. And I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Like, yes, Anthony Dodge goes diving in the coldest waters. I'll dive in any cold water. I grew up swimming in cold water, so it's not an issue. And I'm feeling pretty good about myself. And then 50 yards up the beach from me, there's like these 5 kids, all between the ages of 3 and 8. They're running in and out of the water. They're mostly playing on the beach, but they're splashing into the water for a bit and coming out. I'm like, okay, I'm not that cool. But then Jean talks to his aunt and tells his aunt about all I did swimming in the Kattegat. And Jean has told her that I'm of German heritage. And apparently, according to Jean, his aunt said, that man's not German, that man's a Viking. And I was like, sure, why not? Yeah. Oh, Simon, Joyce needs to know the name of that ice cream place. She's been trying to tell all her friends about it because Joyce agrees it is the best ice cream on the planet Earth. Joyce, but she couldn't remember the name of it. Neither can I, obviously, but I wasn't scrambling for it. Joyce was. Oh, it was. Yeah. And trust me, I have always said ice cream is better in Europe than anywhere else in the world. And Italian ice is always the best. But no, this place makes their own ice cream right there on scene. And yeah, that was the best ice cream in the world. That was epically good. Joyce and I are probably jealous that you went for it, although we actually had ice cream for dinner. Oh, the name is the Ismagiriot. All right. Joyce, if you're watching this elsewhere, there it is. Oh my God, that was good ice cream. She was trying to figure out where it was because she wanted us to take a bus or a tram and go get some more before we left. We went out we did a canal cruise, a 2-hour canal cruise. And the last one of the evening. So it was nice because the sun was setting and we got a beautiful view of all of the canal areas of Copenhagen. It was really nice. But yeah, Joyce was like, where was that ice cream place at? I was like, I don't remember. We went to so many places that day. All right, let's change cameras again. Oh, they just left there. Let's go long view again. But yeah, so. But yeah, the various train shops we went to, Hornby's was huge. Hornby's was massive. And my video does not do it justice because I didn't go all the way down into their 1 gauge area, their G gauge and 1 gauge area. I didn't go over to their parts department, their parts and repairs department. I didn't go to all those places in there. And I unfortunately could not find what I was looking for. They had plenty to buy, but not what I was looking for. And if they had been the last shop I visited instead of the first, I probably would have bought 2 or 3 of their clearance locomotives there because they had some stuff I like. Well, if nothing else, I'd take that. But it was early in the trip. That was the problem with going to Hornby's in Aachen, is that it was really the second train shop we went to, and we had 3.5 more weeks of travel to do. So I didn't want to really spend my money there on unless it was exactly what I was after. And the website. Thank you. Not like we're going to get it now, but much to Joyce's chagrin. But yeah, that was excellent ice cream. Yeah, and they had a line. They had a line, but they moved fast and it was worth it. I will say I do have a bizarre story for the trip home. I have a very bizarre story for our flight home. And for half the flight, well, 3/4 of the flight, Joyce thought I was paranoid. But then she started watching it more closely. Now, anybody who's around me knows that when I deal with store staff, when I deal with waiters and waitresses, I am always very polite and very friendly. I mean, I try to be that with most people. The only time I get rude anymore is when I'm fighting to get on a train, because there's some, when you're trying to get on a train in Germany or even Denmark, or you're walking down the sidewalk in bikers, there's no politeness anymore. I'm out for blood. But anyhow, on the flight home, we get to our seats. I sit down, and about once everybody's on the plane, the stewardesses, the flight attendants, and male and female are walking back and forth. And there's one of the flight attendants is a rather large guy. No problem. He gets through. But I'm sitting there, and this one stewardess walks by, and her wide hips catch me on the shoulder. And I'm saying, oh, I'm sorry. And I pull my arm in. She says nothing. And then she's coming back the other way. And I've got my arm tucked in. And she stops to talk to somebody behind me. And she throws her hips into my shoulder inside my seat area. It's not like I was leaning out. Now, I know I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3.5". If I put on shoes, I'm 6'4". I weigh 235 pounds, which is about 108 to 110 kilos. Okay, I know. I'm a fairly big guy. And I'm used to sitting on trains and planes where I have to keep myself in tight. Well, this entire flight, every time this woman walks past me, she nails me. And I hit a point where I'm sleeping. Okay, well, I'm sleeping and my arm's probably hanging out. She hits me again. And then they're coming by to serve the first set of drinks. bam, she hits me in the arm with the tray. All right, my arm is hanging out here, but you could see my arms hanging out and say, excuse me, sir. She never says, excuse me. And she spent the whole flight hitting me. And Joyce thought I was paranoid, but I was getting pissed. And a couple of times I said, excuse me. I said, hey, I'm trying to move. Could you warn me when you're coming through if I'm too spread out? Could you warn me? I asked her. And she just hit me every time she walked past. And I started complaining about it to Joyce. And Joyce is like, well, you know, maybe you're hanging out too far. You're leaning over too far. It's like, well, I know I'm kind of broad shoulders. I don't think she fancied me. She would have been a little more genteel. But 3 times I fell asleep on the plane because I'm taking pills because I have very excessive fear of flying, white knuckling panic attacks. So I mellowed out. So I finally mentioned it to Joyce a few times, and bam, she does. I said, see, she did it. And Joyce is like, I'm sorry, I missed it. And so she comes back, and Joyce says, well, she got you that time, but you were kind of hanging over your chair. I'm like, thanks, honey. You're not really supporting me. And she hit me with the trolley at least 3 more times. And I'm checking. Yep, my feet are inside. My knees are inside my seat area. And finally, Joyce started watching. It's like, well, she is running that trolley kind of close to the chair there, but she's doing it up there too. It's like maybe she's new and she's just learning. But my thing is, she has to know she's hitting me. I've spoken up a couple of times about it. And she never even apologizes or says, excuse me, or even asks me, could I please stay inside? Like if it's my fault, at least say, all 8 hours of the flight, she's hitting me. And I finally got mad and complained about it. And then I wrote a protest letter to Delta Airlines about it. I said, this is bullcrap. I was watching. Nobody else. Yes, she did bump into other people but it wasn't the same people. But man, she nailed me every time she went by me. I have never been so ticked off. I have never been so aggravated on a flight, even with my fear of heights and panic attacks. It just annoyed the crap out of me. It's like, there's no excuse that I keep getting hit, 3-4 times. And yes, I will occasionally sit back and have my elbows out because I'm a big guy and I can't afford first class. So I'm sitting in Comfort Plus, which gives me more leg room, which is awesome. You pay $100, $150 an inch extra in Comfort Plus, but it's worth it when you're tall. She yelled at me once about, I had my seat back while I was sleeping and they were serving food, and she just grabbed my chair and said, sir, we need you to lift your chair up so the man behind you can eat his food. And she pushed it before I could move it. I'm asleep. And she started, sir, we need you to move your chair. So I don't know why. Maybe I reminded her of an ex-husband or something, but it was not friendly flirting. It was rudeness, in my opinion. It was rude. Well, that's what, a couple of people are saying, Senator Bonnie, but it was not flirting. And there's definitely a hell of a lot. The guy sitting behind me should have been the object of her intention in that case. He was probably 7 inches shorter than me, but he was built like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But better looking. If I were gay, and single, I might have said, hi, sailor, to him. But be that as it may, it was, it was annoying. And I don't know what it was. And like I said, for most of the flight, Joyce thought I was just imagining it. I'm like, there, it is again. And Joyce started watching going, well, yeah, she does keep coming a little close. Yeah. And that was, that's the thing, what I always call big water, Andy 81E, is when you look out and there's no sign of land except the land behind you. Even on smaller bits, like when we're at the top at Graen in Denmark, where Denmark disappears into sort of the, it's not part of the North Sea, but it is, you know, sort of like where the Norwegian Sea and the North Sea kind of come in, and on one coast the Skagerrak, and then the Kattegat on the other side, which kind of is connected to the Baltic Sea, but it's not the Baltic Sea. But to stand at that little point there, and like, okay, Norway's that way, Greenland's that way, Norway's that way, Greenland's that way, and it was funny. Sweden's that way. It would have been cool. Oh, you're 6'7", so yeah. Yeah, and I used to, and the thing is, I used to be a lot fatter. I spent my 40s between 260 and 300 pounds. Parts of my 40s and parts of my 50s, bouncing back and forth, up to 260, down to 240, up to 275, down to 245, up to 300, down to 250, up to 280, down to 250, 260. And then when my doctor warned me of the heart attack, said you're building up for a massive one, and I finally went down from about 300 to 220. 225 was actually, I got down to 222 at one point, but I was around 228 for about 4 years, and then over the winter, right before Gets and through the winter, I've gained about easily 10 pounds. So I'm carrying about 238, and I've been struggling to get it back off, but I'm just not. I work out every morning, but I'm not eating quite as restrained as I used to eat. So I've put on some weight, but I've weighed 300 pounds and been on a flight in the plane, and I wasn't bumped into like this. It was obnoxious. And again, once you call it out, whether it's flirting or intentional, you would think they would make an effort not to do it, but nope, they kept doing it. Hey, Kieran J94. But, you know, normally Joyce and I I should say, you know, we always get along with the flight crew. Joyce and I, again, anybody who's hung out with us knows that Joyce and I always are very polite to staff anywhere. We've been on that side of the cash register. We've been on that side of the table at the restaurant. We've worked those jobs ourselves. We know what they go through. We know the crap they put up with day to day to day. And so we are always very respectful of everybody in the shops. You know, I take it as a personal pride if I can make somebody smile or make them kind of laugh, even if they've been a little kind of myth with us. I have a little phrase I always say, you know, like when I'm leaving the grocery store and somebody says, "Have a nice night," I always say, "You too," especially after work, you know, and that almost always gets a grin, you know. When people are like, "Oh, thank you for this," I was like, "No, you're doing me a favor. Thank you for this." Joyce and I always got our way. Anybody that's hung out with us long enough knows how much Joyce and I go out of our way to be polite and friendly with any service staff people. Hey, there's Dirk from Chesty Trains. Thank you. It's great to have you here. Well, the nice thing is I didn't need any. The only medicine I take now is I am on metformin I am not diabetic, but I hit the lowest level of pre-diabetic. And so they just started me on metformin. And originally I was taking a certain dosage, but after a year, they checked my blood sugar and they said, "You went down big time." And they cut my dosage in half. All right, Dirk of Southern Cross Rail Systems, thank you. Take care. It was always great to have you. It's great to be back here. And again, if you guys have not been and all of you have been sharing with us the story. Let me get to some cameras where we can see these much more clearly, like that one. I am running a bunch of stuff that either has never run on the layout before, like these white and yellow cars, the Lufthansa Express set. That was one of the things I was looking for in Germany and Denmark. I wanted to see if I could find one of the old AC versions of the Lufthansa Express. I didn't. I found a couple of DC versions, but not an AC version. So I'm still on the lookout for it, but there's one on eBay right now, but they want like $350 for the set, and I can't shell that out. I would have paid $350 for it at a shop in Germany, 300 euros. I would have paid that at a shop in Germany, but because I couldn't find it, I bought other stuff. I was in Germany, and so now I don't want to shell it, especially since I saw a set for about $220 on eBay right before I went to Germany. No, I didn't hear about it, 156, Andrew. I hope nobody was hurt. But so I was talking earlier, started about it. So my shopping list when I went to Germany was a Class 01 or a Class 03. Check. I got the Class 01. Then I was looking for the Roco, or actually not the Roco, the Models World, LS Models, night jet car set, because I waited too long and they sold out at Lipa before I could order them. I was hoping I might get to Europe and find them, and nope. And they sold out right before we went to Germany. So I was looking for them, and the Aalborg shop, the shop in Aalborg, Denmark, they had a Roco set that had 4 of the Austrian cars and then 4 Swiss cars. And they had it in AC, but I didn't want that set because I don't want the Swiss cars. I want it to be all the Austrian blue night jet cars. But it also has to be the special ones that have the Starry Sky symbol on it. Hey, there's Sir Andy Dobson. Welcome in. And so, and then the third thing I was looking for was the Lufthansa Express set. Now, that dual mode 249 there, that of course is the Special Joy. The second of those 2 silver and brown or silver and brick red cars, that's new. The 2 hoppers there are new. And then the little Danish guy at the end, that's from the shop where I bought a bunch of stuff. But they've got to have the Starry Sky, because the newest Roco and LS model night jet sets are a darker blue. It's the new coloration for the night jet. I need the older ones. Now, Acme sells some 2-car sets, but they're expensive. Rivarossi sells some. Roco sells some. And I did just buy a couple Roco basic. They're DC, but that'll be fine. I just bought a couple of Roco ones, and I'm going to see if the color match. And if they match, I'm just going to buy 2 or 3 more of those and live with it. Hey, did I see Sir Daz of Faulkner is here? How you doing, Daz? I haven't talked to you in a long time. How are you doing, if you can say publicly? So, yeah, so we bought a few freight cars, which again, I put up pictures on Facebook and some teaser pictures post on YouTube. But like the 4-car set here. Yeah, I know, Dirk. So, and I'm not worried either way. I've got the curves to handle the full scale. And if I get all the same in the short scale, Either way, I'll be happy. I just want them to color match with my Roco locomotive. All right, Senator Bonnie, take care. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's always appreciated. All of you people who come out and hang out with us, it is always appreciated. But, you know, we got, so then it would just be other, like if I could have found a good Class 185, well, I found a Class 185 that I had been interested in anyhow, so I bought that one. And then there's the unexpected. I bought a Danish Vectron to go with these cars. And I still need to find a couple more of these cars to make a nice 5-6 car consist. So now I'm going to be on the lookout for more of these Tog Modelles. I'll keep a lookout on eBay and even German eBay. All right, Artie, good night. Take care. It is late where you are. Well, yeah, it is. It's after 11. It's either 11:30 or 12:30. No, you're one time zone ahead of where we were. Yeah, well, I was shocked at how many Vectrons I saw in Denmark. That was amazing. So, you know, and we rode, and that was something else that they tried to talk us into. I say they, some friends in Denmark, the guys at the shop, and Jean Ricard. The 3-car IC, I believe they're, I forget, were they diesel or electric? These little 3-car sets Joyce and I were taking into Denmark. Because that's a story. Oh my goodness. Our train out of Hamburg up to Denmark was late, but we still had time. We got to where we're going to change trains. And then they announced that our train that we were supposed to be taking from just inside across the border in Denmark to Aarhus has been canceled. But while we're sitting on the station, while we're standing at this station in Kolding, Denmark, you know, and I posted on Facebook, oh, great, our train's just big. The train with the running number we're supposed to be on shows up. And the screen is saying that train's canceled and it's not going here. And I'm trying to get all this information out. Of course, Jean Ricard calls me and says, Anthony, don't worry, you can do this. And I'm like, just wait a minute. Let me get the information to see what we're going to do. Because some people, you know, some of the Danish railway people are saying, go here and take this train here. And other people are saying, go here, do this. But this train is now saying, and it still has our running number of the train we're supposed to be on, saying it's going to Aarhus. We get on the train, we talk to these young people and say, is this train going to Aarhus? And they said, well, it better be. That's where we're going. But our reserve seats were eliminated, even though it was the train we were supposed to be on. And it had our seats marked as reserved. So we sat where we were supposed to sit anyhow on a train that wasn't supposed to exist, but it did leave an hour late. Now, the funny thing is it arrived as a 3-car set. We stopped at a town called Fredericia, and we had some bizarre moments there. But by the time we did get to Aarhus, our 3-car train was up to like 15 cars. And, you know, eventually Jean did explain that, well, technically your train was canceled and this train became a different train. But they didn't change the numbers until we were halfway to Aarhus. It was still showing our train number. But it was canceled and it's not going to Aarhus. But these young people say it is going to Aarhus and blah, blah, blah. And so you're getting so much information. And Jean's like, don't panic. I said, I'm not panicking. I'm just trying to sort out what's going on. The 3-car sets are diesel. The 4-car set is electric. Okay, so we were in diesel. But in all honesty, I keep calling them silver, and I keep getting corrected by the Danes going, they're white. I'm like, they look silver to me. They're white. Okay, they're dirty white. That looks kind of silver. But, you know, I heard some people, also some Danes refer to them as the toilet seat cars. Well, hello, Ruler in Blue. Nice to have you here. I now declare you a knight of the round boy table. Hey, Roller in Blue, if you got a channel, you can now post a link to your channel if you run trains or if you got some good hobby channels. The only thing we don't talk about, no religion, no politics, no links or references to them. We occasionally talk economics as long as we keep the political viewpoints out of it. But anyhow, we had a blast with, you know, once we got places. But man, getting to places was a real hassle this time. But Rostock was cool. I got to swim in the Baltic Sea, both at Warnemünde. Oh, and train related. We did take the Molly. In fact, I forgot my hat. I'll have to ask Joyce to bring it up. I should change cameras here. But yeah, we Joyce and I rode the narrow gauge steam train called the Molly, which runs through the streets of the city of Bad Doberan. You can literally reach out your window. You can literally reach out the window and grab stuff off the racks of the stores who put their little racks outside, which is very common in Europe, where they put all these racks of their stuff. You can reach out the car and grab the tea off of a table a guy's trying to drink. You are going down the streets of this city. They have to stop all the traffic, get the cars out of the way, and let the Molly through. And then you have a beautiful countryside ride, and then you get up near the coast, and then you get to see the beautiful Baltic Sea coast, which is called the German Riviera, from the town of Kulungsborn. I keep saying Kulungsborn to Warnemünde, east to Warnemünde. Just a beautiful region, beautiful white sandy beaches all along that stretch. We dipped our toes in the Baltic Sea at Kulungsborg, and then we went back, and then we went to the Isle of Rügen. We went swimming. Well, we waded out in the rocky beach and the tall sheer cliffs above us at Sassnitz, and then we went down to Binz. We went past Prora and saw the old Nazi Germany vacation things, which you know, some of it's been turned into a museum, but now a ton of it has been turned into vacation apartments. It's actually now being used for what was originally designed to do. But it was amazing the change in those. And you still had some that had been bombed down, blown up during the war. You had sections of it, but you have large sections of it that have been completely turned into rentable condominiums and apartments. Did I see Sean? Sean, GWR Buckley is here. Sir Sean, how have you been? How's the fishing been? Nice to have you here. It's awesome. Got a couple of people we haven't seen in a long time. It's good to see you guys. Still alive, almost about. Yeah, so the Mullibahn was great. We had a lot of fun. It's a rickety old steamer train ride, but we enjoyed the views. And that was it, because Joyce and I are not big time rail fanners, especially old heritage lines and that, but we ride trains all the time when we travel. I think that was, we use the public transportation. Joyce and I have never rented a car since our first trip overseas in 2003 to now. We have never rented a car. It is always public transportation, or somebody like Graham from Leamington Station when we were at Getz drives us somewhere. Jean Ricard, Artie drive us places, which is good. You feel guilty at times because, when we were in Australia, we killed Artie, and when we were in Denmark, we killed Jean, because Joyce and I go, and so Jean did in several places. I'll drop you off here, and I'll meet you here, and you just walk. But it was very, very they're just so many experiences. Like I said, the train shops we went to. Joyce and I had a funny little hike in the Netherlands. We were in Aachen, and we took a bus out to this little town on the border of the Netherlands, and then about a 30-minute hike up a hill, which apparently is the tallest hill in the Netherlands. Although we've heard there are people that argue it isn't. And we went to this marker, but it's a 3-border area. So there's a point where you can stand in Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands at the same time. But they also have a point about 40, 50 feet away from there that says the highest point in Belgium, in the Netherlands. But we stood in Belgium, and boy, did my 5G network phone go crazy, because like, welcome to Belgium, welcome to the Netherlands, welcome to Germany, welcome to Belgium, welcome to the Netherlands. But every time we walked, it was bouncing back and forth. It just couldn't handle. I'm just scared to drive in a foreign country, especially on the UK, where it's the other side of the car and the other side of the road from what I'm used to. That would be a little scary. But yeah, we just, Joyce and I had an absolutely, we're watching some video now. I haven't burned it or edited it yet. I have all the video files on a drive, and I connect it to the TV. And we're like, Joyce is watching, like, where's that? And I go, that's an Aachen. And she's like, oh, yeah, right. I don't remember that. Well, it was 4 weeks ago, dear. And the stuff we did most recently is what sticks in your memory. That's why you take video. But we went to Trier, and we saw Porto Negre and had a great time in Trier. And we went from Trier down to the little German border village called Saarburg. And it has a waterfall that runs through the town. And we sat and ate at a restaurant with the waterfall right next to us. Now, it's not a big waterfall, but it was cool. And it's a famous calendar shot for travel in Germany bits. All right, Lee, take care. Thanks for popping in. But yeah, it was just an amazing series of events. And yeah, we do what we can to we did have only, outside the flight attendant, there was only one other time we ran into rudeness, and that was a waiter at a restaurant in Koblenz. That I was speaking German, and I don't know what his attitude was, because the guy next to me was understanding me, but the waiter was like, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand what you're saying. And I said, look, I know my German may not be great this first week I'm here with the American accent, but I think my German's pretty good and clear. And a guy sitting next to me said, with a very thick Rhinelander accent, he's like, yeah, your accent is fine. I understand you just fine. And but yeah, the waiter was just being a douchebag. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Anybody who meets Joyce and me, you have to learn. Joyce and I are joined at the hip. We are codependent, needy people. We do have our things we do separately, but when we travel, we're a team. And you know, that was one of the funny things, because we get a couple of people saying, "Oh, well, Anthony, you got these trains and you did this and you did that. What is Joyce getting? It seems to be all about you." And Joyce gets mad at that comment. Joyce gets very mad at that comment. She's like, "I got to hike up hills in Germany. I got to tiptoe in the beach. Anthony's the materialistic one. I just need nature. You don't have to give me things. I don't need trains or yarn or tangible things." You know, when I plan the trips, even though I'm happy to be where we're at, a lot of our hikes in the mountains and the forest and by the rivers, that's more for Joyce than even for me. I'm about, let's go to the museums and sit in at cafes and drink and talk to people. Joyce wants to be out in nature. And so she gets upset when people give me grief about, "Well, you're buying all this stuff for you. You better get Joyce something nice." It's like, you know how many times I try to offer to buy Joyce something, like, "Hey, here's a beautiful necklace." She's like, "No, I don't need it. Joyce, let me buy you that." No. So yeah, we're joined at the hip. We're obnoxious. We're obnoxiously a pair. We're sickening. Speaking of which, Joyce should be making her appearance soon. Although my phone pinged a little bit ago. Oh, okay. Oh, well, thank you, Simon. And Mav, if you're watching the background, thank you for the comments on our Facebook post. In case I did not mention it, so that's bad. Speaking of Joyce, today is our 38th wedding anniversary. Joyce and I were married on June 27th, 1987. So today is our 38th wedding anniversary. We're going to go out to dinner after the live stream. Best thing about building a layout. No, that's my problem. The more I build a layout, the more I want more trains. Yep. And again, to all you watching the background, Mark, Donegal Dad, and Model Railway Fantasia, because I have missed the last several live streams from Mark at Donegal Dad, being in Germany. And then yesterday I was watching Cayenne, which meant I couldn't get on to say hello on his live stream yesterday. A lot of people watching the background. Hey, there's Rick's Trades. Your missus didn't last 6 years. So, well, thank you, people. Don't worry about correcting typos. I used to have to correct typos and misspellings, but I am retired and off the clock. And I'm clever enough I can read the difference. But yeah, Joyce and I are logging off here and immediately going out to dinner. I just have to put on a little bit more, probably take off the Märklin shirt and put on something a little bit nicer. Not too much, because it's nasty out there. It was 95 degrees today. Hey, Kiwi Dave, how have you been, Sir Dave of New Zealand? Great to have you here. But yeah, it's great to be back. Like I said, the funniest thing was walking in this basement and looking at my layout going, why doesn't this look right? And going, oh yeah, because I put grass all over it. It's so weird. I was used to it before I went to Germany, but a month in Germany and Denmark and coming back, my brain was like expecting to see things the way they'd always been. You know, you go down in the basement, you see the brown and the pink and nothing. And now it's like, what the hell's up with my layout? It doesn't look right. Oh, it's got all the grass on it. It looks great. Couple other things just felt weird. It's like, wait a minute. Yeah, this is my home. This works this way now. Sir Rick of Rick's Trains is here. I'm gonna nag wifey poo. She's not working. She's got no reason to be late. Oh. I'm going to nag her from both sides. But the biggest thing was Joyce actually went swimming in the Baltic. She did go swimming. She didn't just wait out a bit and leave. And she didn't just go up so high and then leave. She dove in, swam a couple of times, dove in, played in the water. She was out there for a good 10, 15 minutes before she decided it was too cold and left. But I was very, I don't know, proud sounds so condescending, but she very often will change her mind, decide she's not going in the water. She might stick her toes in it. Like when I went swimming in Australia, she was thinking of doing it, and then she's like, nope, I'm not doing it. It's too cold. It's too cold. Joyce only swam in heated pools as a kid. Or when they would go to like Lake Erie or something like that, when it was 90 degrees out and the water temperature was 75, 80. I grew up swimming in ice cold lakes in northern Michigan. And hi, Sir Mike of Putnam Junction. Great to have you here. Yeah, it's been a while, Dave. It's great to see you. Life happens. Did I see Sir Dave of Sparky 107 is here? Hey, Sparky, how are you? But yeah, we never know. You know, I do that one a lot. Let's do the Joyce view before she comes down here. But yeah, it was there's so much that it's hard to talk about. We just going to the town of Kokum and seeing the famous Imperial Castle on the side of the hill next to the Mosel River. Joyce and I had a late night where we went out about midnight, and we went down to the in Koblenz. We went down to where the Mosel River flows into the Rhine, called the Deutsches Eck, and just it was still lit up fairly bright. But look at the stars, look at the moon, and watch the river at night. That was cool. Hey, Sir Philip, welcome in. Well, I've been live every week. I haven't missed a Friday in over 5 years. But I was only on for an hour or so when we're in Germany. Speaking of which, I hear the footsteps are coming. So let's go ahead and get this set up. I was just there, but sorry, that's the anti-cat bits. Yeah, we just got back from Germany. So what's Joyce doing? Wearing an Australia t-shirt. There you go. There you're on camera.
I'm on camera. I don't have a mic. That just feels weird.
How does it feel weird?
It's been a month.
You gonna pull your chat up there?
I did. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm good again. Mike?
Oh, right. You need the mic.
I can turn yelling. Yes, I don't like that one.
Yeah, you never developed that teacher projection voice like me. I don't need a mic. The mic can be over there and I can still yak it out.
All right. Well, first of all, hi, everybody. And so, hi, Valley. It's Christopher, right?
Yeah, that's Chris.
Hi, Mick or Chris?
You forgot.
Hi, Great Northern. Well, I was pretty sure, but I got a musty. Hi, Andy. Hi, Kiwi Dave. Yeah.
People are congratulating you on being married to me for 38 years.
Thank you.
It's an epic achievement.
It is. Hi, Tom.
It's an honor, too.
Yeah. Hi, March West. I should know that, too. Yeah, I've called that restaurant twice.
Yeah.
Our systems are down. Can you call back in about 15 minutes? Call. Oh, went back down. Can you call back in another 15, 20?
Did you ever get through?
Oh, is it? Can't you just write down a piece of paper?
So we're just gonna go out there and risk it.
I can call again, or we can just go somewhere else. Hi, Dino, and thank you.
Look at the 249
Hi,
right in front of you. It's working again.
It's working again. That's a beauty.
That story brings a tear to my eye. That guy fixing it and not charging us anything.
It sure was. Hi, Andy. Yeah, that was quite a surprise, and you were very thrilled. Hi there, Jean. I didn't think you were going to make it today. But happy anniversary. And by the way, I want to tell you other times you talked to Andy, I think you've ruined me on strawberries.
Oh, yeah.
I have not found any as good as the ones you had there from your cheese friends.
Yeah, that store where you bought strawberries.
Yeah,
Joyce's.
golly, they didn't mean anything.
Joyce has had strawberries a few times since, and they have not lived up to it.
Nope. They just need a little bit of help most of the time. So I guess that is what it is, right? Well, it just, I got a lot of t-shirts. And I felt like red today.
Yeah, unfortunately, my Danish t-shirt,
my
Danish t-shirt, my German t-shirt, my Danish t-shirt got washed and shrank.
An extra yank, so they might be all right. Hi there, Justy. Yeah, we sure did.
That's Dirk, too.
Yeah, Dirk, that's right. Yeah, we had a great time on our trip.
Other than all the train screw-ups.
Well, that didn't bother me as much as it did you.
And the bitchy waiter in Koblenz. And the bitchy flight attendant on the... Well, she wasn't bitchy. She was
she was just reckless. Thank you, Dirk. We made it work for 38 years, so... 38
years married, 42 years together.
That's right.
42 years together.
Yeah, we've been a thing for a long time. Yeah, really, Sean, it'd be nice. They won't make it, of course, but... yeah, they were so good.
Yeah, they'd start there red and they get here green.
It doesn't
and
work
moldy.
That way. Yeah, they'd be moldy. Oh, sorry, before you go, you got to pick some raspberries.
Yeah, I need to go pick some raspberries. I know.
You're in charge of those.
I'm in charge of those now. I just haven't wanted to go outside and
yeah, I know it's gross. I put my volunteers out in the box. I don't know if anybody took them. But that's it. Probably should dump them now.
But what do you think of the 2024 guy going? The last loco we bought in Germany.
Right.
He's cool looking.
He is cool looking. He's long and proud. Look at all this cargo you're hauling.
And you've got, new,
and
new.
We're getting those
and then the last one's new.
Right, yeah, the hobby
Caden.
Hobby Caden, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, some of us want to know why you didn't go shopping at the street across while we were shopping for trains. Because your collection's bigger than their store.
Hmm.
And on that note, good night, folks.
Right. Anyway, no, my energy's actually been pretty good right now. I'm kind of lagging a bit.
We've been happily married for 36 years. I thought it was 38. Yeah, the last two.
Yeah, rough. He's bitching about the late trains all the time.
Oh, and
It's
the Peter.
fine.
Well, it's not quite the Peter Express yet.
Right.
Aren't those? Those are those are
Yeah,
three
those
of the.
are sharp-looking cars
Speaking
indeed.
of which, did that little guy? Has he come around again? Nope, he's stuck again.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's not a big deal. He just needs a kick in the canister.
Which one's stuck? Oh, is that why you have the...
Yeah, he just stalls every now and then.
Which one? The one that's not
He's
moving.
coming right now.
Oh.
He'll be coming around. He's got the other Danish car.
Oh, okay.
There he goes.
There he is.
Because I can't put that one with the other.
Isn't he cute?
It's cute.
Yeah, he's only strong enough for one car. Hey, he's a little train that could. Chug, 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 chug.
Well, apparently he can't because he keeps stopping every now and then. I have to give him a little more juice to get him going.
Doing the best I
Yeah,
can.
got a little shunter. But, you know, just so I could have all 4 Danish cars running.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure Anthony told you. Any any fast train. Yeah, ICs, the ECs, all those, they were all delayed. I would get on them and they were on time and then they'd be delayed. But, yeah, that worst one was the train that wasn't delayed that we were running to catch.
Yeah, we had an 8-minute transfer window because our train went from Rostock to Hamburg, and then we had to change trains in Hamburg to go to Frankfurt.
Even though the train we were on
The train we were on
was going to Frankfurt.
was going to Frankfurt. But I don't know what the issue was. Apparently they couldn't guarantee us seats all the way through, whatever.
Yeah.
They had us change it. They gave us 8 minutes. Now, it was only one platform section away. We arrived on 11. We had to go to 14. Well, we arrived 5 minutes late, so we only had 3 minutes to get off our train and run to the other one. But we did make it, although Deutsche Bahn apparently did not think we made it.
Yeah, it's true. They didn't want us to make it either.
Did the chat die? Is the live stream going?
Like it.
Is the chat
Is
alive?
everything okay? None of you are talking.
We're just mesmerized by you, dear. Says we're on. Says we're good. Is there anybody out there?
Yeah, Rachel's singing and it's live. It's just kind of cool.
They're just all quiet.
These are just quiet.
35 people just staring.
I came down and I killed the conversation.
Yeah, you're making Joyce feel guilty now.
Yeah, you are. You do that on my anniversary, would you?
Your anniversary? It's not our anniversary.
Indeed,
it's your
ours.
anniversary.
Ours. Wondering if you would like a challenge.
A challenge?
What kind of challenge?
Right now, it's a challenge to stay awake.
There's that, yeah.
Trying to
Sort of
readjust.
sluggish. Hey, soon Liz should be home pretty soon. I've been in contact
Hope
with
so.
her.
You've been in contact
She
with her.
said she was at a standstill. in
Oh,
Indiana.
listen to the DB drama. Yeah, it was crazy, but it was also Denmark. It wasn't just DB,
Yeah.
it was DSB.
Yeah, but it was just, we've never had that with all of them.
We've had the occasional
Were
delay,
delayed.
but we've
Yeah,
always been very
occasional.
satisfied with Deutsche Bahn. But this year it was just chaos.
It's just, hey, Rick, thank you. We all want to hear the voice of an angel. Oh, my goodness, Sean. Yeah. So, Yeah, that was hard because, you know, we were on the outside of the stadium, which I had not seen before this year.
What's that?
The platforms that were outside of the stadium.
Oh, you keep saying stadium. Station.
Station, sorry. Outside of the station, I hadn't seen them before.
We've always been
year,
inside. We've always been on inside. But yeah, several times with Hamburg, we had to get on outside.
Yeah, so it was, our luggage was heavy, and there were a lot of stairs.
Making up breakfast
so
train,
it was
would
a
you
lot
like
hard.
a livery van for it?
You're making up a breakfast train.
Would you like to livery a van for it? Would I like to livery a van for it?
I don't think that makes sense, Mike.
Well, no, that does make sense. It's what I like to livery. I can't. I have no skill. My stick people look tragic.
Is the short answer yes? Would you like a van?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't think we know how to answer it, Mike. I'm not trying to be rude or anything.
if it's to livery a van, you celebrated your 34th 2 weeks
congratulations.
ago. Well, congrats you too, breaking that. That's also good.
That is good.
We always celebrate that. You know, it's some people make it, some people don't.
Yeah.
It's you never know.
Yeah, I saw Jaden's mom at Kroger. She works there, but she's just getting medicine and put her on a little test for me.
Oh, okay.
I'll explain later. Oh, you were in Italy in May and the trains are never on time. You know, it's so un-German because, you know, the reputation of Germans is they're very punctual. So I don't know if you want me to call back or if we just want to go to a different one.
It's up to you. We can go somewhere. We can go to Carrabba's and get Italian. We can go to.
We've had a lot of Italian.
Yeah. We can go to Burger King and get a burger.
Oh, hi, Leslie.
Hey, Sir Leslie. Hi there. Hi there. Hi there.
Every train had a 20-minute delay. Oh, that's frustrating. Although you're like, well, I could just show up 10 minutes later, but then you might miss it. So terrible.
But we're running, you know, everything that could run on rails that we brought home from Germany is on the layout today.
So I would expect you to do that. So that's good. A UK box car or grain car or a tanker?
Well, boxcar would be the coolest.
Yeah, because you could put it up here, couldn't you?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So a boxcar. Hi, British Railways enthusiasts.
Hello, British Railways enthusiasts.
We are.
Welcome in, welcome in.
We're good.
We are good. Probably more tired today. Yesterday was adrenaline day.
Oh, yeah, my problem is I did a longer walk.
Yeah.
And then I went straight out and worked in my garden.
Yeah.
It's a little late, but I had to thin out.
And the heat and the humidity.
It's very hot. It's very humid. I had to, I think it kind of got me. I had to thin out my corn.
We could do Tony Pacos.
Even though it was very late.
We're back home in Toledo. Celebrate with Tony Pacos. Yeah, I know. Whatever.
I guess I had my head on steak.
Okay, then.
Well, I can step out and call.
You could try one more time, but at this point...
yeah, that's about it. Hi, Andy.
But, yeah, we had a... What were some of your highlights of our trip? You don't have... things you did. We're not going to, don't worry about having to say, oh, it was nice to meet this person or that person. We're talking things you saw, things you did.
All right. Well, I really enjoyed going to the point of Denmark and wading into that extremely cold water.
So you liked Grayen up at Skane.
That was great. My shirt's
the point of Denmark bit. I talked about that. Where
that was really
you can't
cool.
go any further north in Denmark than that little point, and we were on it.
And we did several hikes that I enjoyed.
Several hikes.
Trier was pretty cool with all its Roman.
All the Roman stuff in Trier.
All the Roman stuff. It was like, wow, we don't have to go to Italy, because you saw all of it in Trier. Yeah, it is.
As you're an engaged.
Find a good schnitzel place.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we've had enough schnitzels for a while here, too. Oh, Confounded almost ready for his greeting.
Okay,
yes,
if you are new to the channel, you need to plug your ears. Plug your ears. We got to greet the grandson.
Yep.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Kyan!
Hey, Kyan! Opa loves you! Hi, Kyan!
I found the stickers I got you.
Yeah, we found more stuff we got you. The stickers we picked out for you.
I don't know, bring a sticker book on Sunday or something. I love hiking. I love climbing, to be honest, up thingy. Yeah, speaking of climbing, going up to the...
You like being up a thingy, do you?
I liked climbing up to the points where Germany had 2 of its borders, even though we walked up in the Netherlands.
Oh. Right, the 3-point.
The 3-point.
Right, I was talking about that. You really liked that.
I did.
It's such a novel little thing. It
was such a little thing, but I really the whole time was just
appreciating the hike up, playing around up there, the hike down.
That you were willing to climb another hill with me. It was hard. That was a pretty good.
That's a pretty steep incline.
That was a pretty good incline. Although we did, coming back, we saw a sign with the incline. It was not as strong as climbing up to the castle in Bamberg.
Yeah, right.
That had a stronger angle.
It did.
But anyway, it was. One
was 12%, the other was 14%.
I love it. I still don't know why we're still in such a flat area, but because we are.
Because we're born and raised in Toledo, and Toledo's like a disease for most people.
Get out of it.
I have moved out of Toledo so many times and find myself back in it.
It's just,
and now our family, except our son and wife and his wife, are in Toledo. Our daughter's in Toledo.
Lithuania, Switzerland, Finland, and Belgium are the top 4 in punctuality. Okay.
Well, yeah, Switzerland makes sense. They're rich and they can keep things running.
Is your BR01 you got from Germany sound fitted?
Yes. It's got sound and it's got, I'll put a little more in it. Where is it? It's coming around, so I'll get it ready.
Yes, it is.
Yes, sound fitted.
So anyway, and we just were surrounded by water. Our entire trip.
It was a water trip.
It was a water trip, and
it was a water.
I just love being around water. So Koblenz says the 2 main rivers that join there, and then there was a lot of water in where'd we go?
What, after Koblenz?
Yeah.
Lübeck?
Yeah, Lübeck had a lot of water, and Hamburg, of course, is right on a river, and Denmark, we were surrounded by water. Cataract and Scattergat, I can't say them right. Sorry, John. And so anyway, and I went swimming in the Baltic Sea. To Anthony's delight, I finally dove in. It was chilly. Oh, post a picture of Cayenne in the shirt with the giraffe with the dino. Yeah. Yeah, Lindy, I think we should do that.
What's that?
Post a picture of Kai in the shirt with a giraffe for the dino.
Oh, well, yeah. I want to see the. Well, I forget what was the saying with the Tyrannosaurus one.
I'm a nice T-Rex today. I thought that was awesome.
All right.
Oh, can you hear him? Oh, he's got a lovely horn. Oh, that baleful sound of the steamer. Lovely.
All right, Joyce.
Yeah.
As it's coming around, turn the mic next and hold it up next to it. Turn it more.
I will. Oh, snap.
Yeah, it's
popping.
because
Whoa.
I overfilled it a bit so you get it on the sides and it pops
Gotcha.
a bit,
Did you guys hear it? Does speaking German help when you're trying to read, listen Dutch and Danish? It was interesting because, at one point John was talking to a shop clerk, and it really sounded to me like they were completely sounding German. So there is a lot of German roots in their language. Okay, good. I'm glad you heard it. And what else were we hearing in it?
Well, I can read Dutch fairly well. Danish is a little harder for me to say, even though they're both Germanic languages.
Yeah, but it was really clear that there was a lot.
There we go. Now you can see that boy chugging away.
There was a lot of, it's obviously in the same language families.
Well, the difference is Dutch is Western Germanic.
Yeah.
Danish is Northern Germanic, and German is Western Germanic, but it heavily influenced Danish.
Yeah. So it just was kind of interesting.
Ooh, we had everybody there on that side.
Yeah.
But you got the Pete Express going.
Comments, so
the Pete Express going right now.
You'll have a few come over on the 11 lane.
But I'm loving those Danish cars. I just wish I had the matching loco.
Yeah, delayed. It's a theme. All right, so you got a bunch over here. Hi, S&C Railroads.
Hey, S&C Railways, welcome in. Whoops, that's
Sorry.
right. Joyce isn't on that view now, so we gotta do this.
Right. I'm gonna step out and try one more time.
All right, step away real fast.
I'll come back, y'all.
Sure you will. I've heard that before. Wow, got 4 guys there going. And here comes the other new loco right there. Ah. Oh, wrong way, wrong way. There come those really sharp Danish cars that light up, which Simon gave me for free. I'm still just feeling so lucky and blessed to have them and honored to have them, considering the story behind them. And now you can watch Beethoven stare at you as he goes past. Of course, the freight train's going to block that. But there's Beethoven looking right over the boxcars. He's looking right at you. That car can creep you out. That locomotive can creep you out at times. Hey. I'm sure Acme did. I just don't know. This set of cars is from a Danish company called Tog Modelle. And Tog is just the German word for, or the Danish word for train, Tog Modelle. And they were gifted to us by Simon from SJ Train World after we met him and went to his club's layout, which is in the basement of a school that is still an active school. Well, you had already told me about that, Randall. So I did know. You had shared that with me a long time ago. And that 249 running again, I am so... I mean, I don't believe in that stuff, karma or whatever, but I do believe to some sense that, if you're nice to people, people will be nice to you usually. Unfortunately, there are some people that think if you're nice and polite, that's a sign of weakness. Or that you must be a fool or a sucker. And then they see the not so nice or polite side. But be that as it may, the gentleman at Rosler's model train shop in Koblenz, the fact that he spent 6 days working on my locomotive, fixed it, and then said for free, no charge, he could have charged me 50, 60 euros, and I would have happily paid. I would have happily paid 100 euros to get it fixed, because it's a hell lot more than I would have paid, or that's a hell of a lot less than I would have paid to ship it out, to have it shipped back and repaired at the 2 repair shops that I could send it to. Oh, look at that. We had 5 of the 6 trains were there. You're a little late, Shunter. You're a little late, you 363. We almost had all 6 at the same time.
Okay, we're in.
We're in? We're in like Flynn. So, but that he did it for free after a beautiful week in Koblenz where so many wonderful things had happened. And to get my locomotive fixed and then to have him say no charge was just amazing generosity. Amazing generosity. And then Simon to give me these gorgeous light up cars. Absolutely gorgeous. And no charge. Now, I did make a donation to his club in response. Not the value of the locomotives, but and I actually tried to hand it to him. He's like, no, you don't have to pay for them. I was like, fine, I'm making a contribution to the club, and I left it on the table in the club room. But, just that way it's all set. I'm happy because I made a donation to another club, and I got free cars. Simon has the joy of seeing my excitement with these Danish cars. It's a win-win all around. Everybody's happy with it. So, yeah, I love these cars. I want to get a full rake of them. Well, get it at least up to, 2 more cars would be perfect. 2 more cars would be perfect. Yeah, we're going to have 3 cars. Well, yeah, just around the corner. Coming around the corner. Nope. Yes. Oh my God, Andy. Splash. 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 That's a Danish joke. Oh my God. We shared it in our live stream. Our Danish live stream. Oh my God. Some jokes that the series of commercials from the 80s in Denmark about this drink. It's a soft drink. I think it's an orange flavored or something like that. Soft drink called Squash. And it's two Danish comedians, and the one of them has trouble pronouncing the word, I guess. And the salesman through the series of commercials is trying to correct him and get him to say it correctly. And then, so we went into Joyce isn't here. One of the clubs we went to, they were listing what drinks people wanted, and somebody wrote with a ton of A's, Splash. Yeah, we had Squirt. I used to like Squirt as a kid. Don't see it anymore up here. But I used to love RC Cola, Cherry Cola. That's the best cherry cola out there. Cherry Coke is great. Even Pepsi Cola is tolerable. Cherry Pepsi is tolerable. Cherry Coke is great, but Cherry RC Cola, that's the winner. Oh, decided to come back, have you?
Yes, well, I did a few chores while I was at it.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, it is a funny name for a drink. I agree.
Hi,
Randall. Thank you. Were you able to guess Lil's granddaughter's name before the episode aired?
Well, the problem is the problem is he told me. Maybe he was asking you.
No?
She has not seen the episode. I watched it while she was out for a walk. Because he did his last two car episodes. Yeah. He had the pit crew. He had the pit crew in one.
I knew he was going to.
So Four Finger Bill and some other guys were in the pit crew. And then he just released a new one, but he had already showed me the granddaughter and told me her name before. It's the granddaughter, or it should be the great granddaughter at the age of Matt and Lil. So she's Nancy Lil Clark. She's Nancy Lil Clark. Sorry, Joyce is not distracted with her phone, so I won't be able to talk to her for another 10 minutes. €2 a pint here, unreal. Well, my thing is I found plenty of beer for cheap prices. I drank more beer on this trip than I have, and I tried more different styles of beers. There's a couple of beers I found in Rostock that were really good. I brought my brother-in-law is a beer aficionado, and Joyce took a picture and sent him a picture of this one beer I was having that I really enjoyed, and he said bring a bottle home, so we did.
So John sent a link to the commercial. Okay. Yeah, it just was funny.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Joyce, and links that were shared.
Yeah.
That's the ice cream place. That's the world's greatest ice cream. The name of the shop is Ismagerit.
Oh, now you show it. Now you share it with us. Good golly, that was good. Any odd foods we tried this time?
Not really. I won't try odd foods. If it's not something I like, I won't try it.
Some of the, oh, good grief, I'm dying. Good God, that was good. That's worth going back to Denmark. Love you, John. Again. So I said we had some pasta that, you were like, it might be okay, which they were. So best beer in each country during the trip. Oh, buddy.
I can't do a best beer.
Yeah, that was hard because Anthony did a lot more than I did, but
I tried a beer in I tried 3 different new beers in Rostock, and all 3 were good. There was a Lubzer. It was L-U with umlauts B-Z-E-R. Lubzer. That was good. But what was it called? O and H? The one that you brought your brother. That you brought back for your brother.
Upstairs.
Olmeyer and Mann or something like that from Rostock as well. And then there's Rostocker. And Rostocker is actually probably better than the O and H. But I like the O and H.
Apparently we're doing a family dinner, by the way, July 9th.
Okay, then.
It's a Wednesday.
Okay, then.
Yeah. Dan are going to be there, maybe Jack. So it's going to be a big family affair.
Where at?
I have no idea.
Gotcha.
I miss stuff, not being on family chats.
In Denmark, there's no such thing as a good beer in Denmark. No, I'm sorry. No,
I had an IPA, not on purpose, in Germany when we had the pasta in that little restaurant.
That wasn't an IPA.
What was it?
It was a Pilsner.
No, it was, I thought it was an IPA.
No.
Anyway, I don't know. We started going to the pills.
No, and then I had several.
Anthony had some white, Weiss beer.
I had a couple of really good Weiss beer. Joyce doesn't like Weiss beer.
I don't.
But I love Weizen beer, Hefeweizen. No, it was a small. I had a really good Danish beer. I'm trying to remember where it was. I think it was at one of the places we.
The last one you had. That was in Rostock.
No.
You didn't like it, but the more you drank it, the better
The
it
first
got.
taste was not good.
Yeah.
The last taste was very good.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that
was.
That was the Rostocker.
Yeah,
that was the Rostocker.
I'll buy that.
No, that was the Lubzer. That was the Lubzer.
Oh, sorry, guys. It's all starting to blur.
Yeah, we had like 20 different brands of beer.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. We had Artie to try one. And she said it was okay.
May the hammer of Thor strike you, Anthony.
Why?
Because I just on Danish beer.
Oh, sorry.
No, I already admitted that I finally had a couple of Carlsberg that tasted okay. Still not in the top 500 beers I've ever had. But after the first 2 being so skanky and bad, I did try 2 different Carlsberg. And so now I've had 2 that I thought were okay and 2 that suck.
So, yeah.
But no, in Denmark, I had a beer like the local beer that you're.
Yeah, we always try to get the local brewery.
The local brewery. We finally opened one of those beers.
Yeah,
those were okay.
Those were good.
Those were good. But I had one it was a small Danish brand. It was a Danish brand, and I think I had at the Scope, the place out in 5, whatever that town was, that translates as 5 Mills, out at 5 Mills. I had a local Danish beer there, and that was good.
Mm-hmm. But so we tend to just get local brewed beer. So I don't know that we've ever had one that just stands out. Although when you had that Italian beer in Germany, that really, in the UK, that really stood out to you.
Yeah.
So one of all the weird things to just go, wow, what a good beer.
Gran Reserva by Primero Beer or whatever it is. But I'm a Pilz guy. My favorite is Pilz. Yeah. Lagers are okay. I don't do IPAs. It just became such a yuppie trend, and I just rebelled against it.
Oh, in Frankfurt, you ordered something, and he gave you something else. I thought it was an IPA.
No, it wasn't an IPA, but it was not what I ordered.
Yeah.
It was a lager. I ordered a Pilz, and they brought me a lager.
Grimberg was Belgium. I don't know.
No, the Grimberg was Belgian. You're right, and the Grimberg was okay. The Grimberg was okay, but no, I had a local. It was a Danish brew, but it was like a small company, small startup. They've been doing it for like 10 years or whatever, and I gave it a try. But yeah, Grimberg was Danish, and we had that at that one bad Italian restaurant.
Oh, right. That we just got a pizza and we didn't take something else off. If it's okay, I've been drinking.
Yeah, it ruined my streak of random picks of restaurants being good.
Yeah.
But I got back on a winning streak.
I mean, I was suspicious. We just should have told them not that, and it would have been all right. Onions or peppers or something on it.
But of course, Czech Pills was originally German Pills.
Yeah. We're gonna argue beers. No, little dude's doing well now that you scooted him up to the right speed. Chug, 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 chug.
But I had beers that were as high as 9% alcohol and as low as
4.5%. Yeah, no worries, John.
Yeah, but John, you also had
you
also had the local beers where you probably still have them, 2 of them in your
refrigerator, yeah.
Because we bought them and then never had them. Hey, Mara King, thank you.
Hi, Mara.
There's no such thing as being late.
Indeed. I'll take you when you get here.
Yeah, except, Greg, Pilsen was a German city until 1945. Pilsen was a German city, as was Budweis, which is now Budovice in the Czech Republic. That's all part of that old Sudetenland. But when they started brewing Pils, it was a German city.
John, I'm in a tornado. Oh my God, John, I'm in a tornado.
Really? Okay. Who cares? Yeah, I had a local Lübeck beer that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just can't remember all the names. I tend to remember the most recent ones I had, like the Lupse and L-U-B-Z-E-R, Lupser. Yes, Greg, I appreciate you Googling that, but please notice how the names are all in German, and in 1842, the Czech Republic didn't exist. They're referring to it as the Czech Republic now. But back then, it wasn't even part of Bohemia. It was part of, Germany didn't exist either. But Pilsen was a German city, German people living there. They were chased out after World War I. But if you look at the names, those are all German names. The Bürger Brawa, which is now known as Pilsen Urquell, which is a damn good beer.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, it rained and it rained hard up here. Thank you, but not nothing severe in our area. There's weather watches just west of us and just north of us. But all indications looks like it is just going to miss us.
No worries, no worries.
No, don't worry about it.
You can be a beer nerd, but I'm a geography and history nerd.
And it's not worth fighting over anyway.
And a German nerd.
Yeah, indeed. On Christmas this quarter.
What's that?
You have it on Christmas this quarter.
I've had it on Christmas. Oh, yeah. Well, I left them up. That way I don't have to put them up next year.
Okay. I'm really worried about it.
I never went to a model train shop in the Czech Republic, which is now Czechia. The only rude clerk I've ever run into in a model train shop was in the town of Freiburg, where I walked in and they looked at me like, "Can we help you?" Bunch of young guys. "Can we help you?" And I said, "Oh, I'm looking for trains. I specifically do Märklin." They're like, "Well, we don't do Märklin here, so you can go." And I was like, "Well, you still have scenery and I can look at rolling stock that'll work on my Märklin system." And they go, "Well, yeah, you're right." And it was okay. I did buy something from them, but yeah, it wasn't the friendliest greeting. Uh-oh. Am I doing a rescue run? Our daughter went to a concert in Chicago. Our younger daughter went to a concert in Chicago. I was driving back, and we've been expecting her back for a little while, and she's a little late from when we expected. But yeah, that the guy in the one shop in Freiburg, which was an all DC shop. Maybe they just don't like Märklin. Like they hate the 3-rail. Yeah, yeah, we don't sell the Märklinis. Okay, so tough stuff. Yeah. Now, as Raymond Legs and a couple other people would happily tell you, we walked into several shops. We spent a week in Rostock, East. That was the old East Germany, and we visited several train shops in different towns, Rostock, Stralsund, and so forth. And I was looking for Märklin stuff, and Warnemünde, Rostock, Stralsund. We had train shops in a lot of these towns, and they were very friendly, but they did not have a lot of, and a couple of them had no Märklin. They had no Märklin. They were all DC 2-rail. And of course, the one shop was big on TT because that was the size in East Germany. TT was the #1 size in East Germany.
Okay, honey.
Hey, Raymond Anthony, how are you? But yeah, the very nice shop that we went to in the heart of Rostock, very friendly man. And they were two guys there actually, but one guy seemed to be wrong. The other guy was just a friend hanging out. But yeah, very, gave us a bit of the history that, yeah, there isn't a big call for Märklin in that region. But they were loaded with Piko, obviously, because Piko was East German, loaded with Piko stuff, and a lot of TT. Now, the funniest one was we went to there was an antique store about 7 minutes walking from our apartment in Rostock, but they advertised antique model trains. And we went in there, and again, it was mostly old Roco and old Piko and some Brawa, but they did have a large Märklin section. And I tried to buy a couple of Märklin locomotives there. I did try to buy a couple, but I only had like one loco I tried to buy was 120 euros. They had this one loco for 120 euros, this older Märklin one that was on my shopping list. I want that one. Got it out of the case. She tested it for us. She doesn't know much. She knows how to do the trains, but it's Dad's shop, and it was Dad really ran the model train stuff. And this was later in the day. It was close to closing time. She tested it, made sure it worked. She puts it back in the box. She starts to ring it up. And I said, "Can I pay with card?" And she goes, "No, we only take cash here." I was like, uh-oh. I opened my wallet. Boom, 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 boom. I've got 100 euros. And it cost 110. And Joyce is like, "Oh, maybe she'll take 100 first." She's like, "Oh, that's all you've got?" Like, yeah. So I said, "Well, maybe I'll try to go get some cash and try to come back tomorrow for it." but we wound up having to change of plans the next day. We wound up being gone all morning. And by the time we got back to Rostock, the shop was closed and it wasn't open on the weekend, and we left on Monday morning. So I never went back and bought it. So I bought a different locomotive in Frankfurt instead. Hello, Ian, Sir Ian. 100 right now is about $115. So 110 euros would be about 122. Well, no, 125, $26. The exchange rate's really bad right now. I'm glad I booked and paid a lot of things in advance when the exchange rate was about 104, because right now it's about one. Last I looked at it was 111, 112, but it's been as high as 117. Yeah, Piko does. I have Piko AC locos, but yeah, these guys were, Piko was all DC. They were like, the guy was funny, but he's like, 3 rail is for those guys over there, and he pointed to the west. It was funny. He's like, 3 rails for those guys over there.
Do you have an available charger?
Pardon?
Do you have an available charger?
Do I have an available charger?
His phone is dying. Can't handle anything.
Oh.
Those are Anthony's cords. It's going to take him 5 minutes to find the end. Thank you.
Because I have so many cords here.
Yeah, there are a lot of cords. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, there's all kinds of crazy stuff they have to do to.
Yeah.
That's why it's been interesting with ESU doing we just make them 3 rail and then you turn a button and they're 2 rail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've heard that, Raymond, and probably from you, that Piko started as 3 rail because 3 rail was more common. It was more popular.
Right.
You know, Märklin dominated. Again, that's something I point out many times, but like in Sweden, the word for model train is Märklin. The Swedish word for model train is Märklin. It comes from the company, but now they use it for anything. So you're like, oh yeah. So you know, there's that guy. He calls himself Märklin of Sweden.
Oh, it's dropped.
I forget his name, but yeah, he's Märklin of Sweden. I'm subscribed to his channel. I forget his name, but it just means model trains of Sweden. Märklin was so dominant, it became the word for model train in a couple of countries. All right, Dirk, take care. Yeah, we're going to head out to dinner in about 5 minutes. It's about that time. We're ready to close?
We're close, yeah. A little change.
I would, you know, as surfliners and chargers, there are so many new breeds, new trains coming out. I mean, this is part of the problem Deutsche Bahn is having, is these new trains with different speeds and operating systems that they're running in. It's just creating chaos. They've ordered all these new trains, but they're also having to pull a bunch. We were in Rostock. Yeah, no, was it Frankfurt or Rostock where we saw the 2 114s?
All right, thanks. Great Northern. Huh? Did you ask?
When we saw the 2 114 locomotives, they've been pulling old locomotives back into service.
Was that
114s got yanked from service years ago.
Was that in Frankfurt?
But that's why I'm wondering. It was in Frankfurt. All right, Greg, take care.
I think it was in Frankfurt.
Well, Pilsner will always be my favorite beer.
Yeah, it's mine for sure.
Oh, I would buy, if Märklin released a modern era Amtrak, it would be in my house.
Oh, not a problem,
day.
Randall. It's always nice you support us.
No problems, no worries.
Yeah,
Never apologize for not chatting or not being able to come in or having to leave.
We understand.
It's life.
Yeah.
We're on at a weird time.
Yeah.
Too early for the Americans, too late for the Europeans.
Yep.
And yet we get a nice crew here.
We do.
And we get a lot of nice people here.
Well, you know, when we travel, we cut it down to an hour or 2.
Well,
Like, we're not
Raymond,
staying up that
I
late.
have not ordered from Lipa with an exception coming in. I have not ordered from Lipa in a few months, but I did order from Lipa while I was in Germany.
Just ordered from Lipa.
And no, it's not a problem. There's no extra payment, no extra fees got added, nothing like that.
Well,
My new locomotive will be here.
Yeah, clearly, Raymond, they were unretired, which I know a lot of teachers like that. Like, oh, here you are, subbing.
Not me.
I don't know that I want to do that either. We'll have to see. We had a hostile takeover of our stores last night.
Oh, did we?
State.
Oh, the state took it over?
Hell yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's not, yeah. 1 a.m. without any oversight, without going through the proper channels. They're putting 4 people on the board, which when their terms run out, the teachers that are on the board will be eliminated. So we'll have 0 input on our retirement.
Oh, wow. Well,
so,
we're going politics here.
here.
Going politics.
Well, it's our,
I know. It's my retirement and
got
your
a
retirement.
message with the call the governor to line veto it. Which I will.
Those got canceled as soon as they got announced.
It was weird.
So I bought a Danish loco to go with these gorgeous Danish cars. I won't say it's not the loco I wanted. It's the loco I could get. It's a Märklin.
I think that's the best way to word it. It's the loco he could get, and it's going to work, and we're all going to be happy with it.
Yep.
And
yeah. There's my friend Jean Ricard put up a video yesterday. Jean
we understand that.
Doesn't have a lot of subscribers, but he did post a new video of the layout I built in his.
Well, you too built it.
Well, he put some things together, but I did the heavy lifting. The 3-lane layout I built in Jean Ricard's parlor.
Yeah.
And but he's running the loco I wanted to buy.
Amen,
but I couldn't find it in 3-rail.
Right.
I checked 3 different companies and nobody had it. So I bought the best thing I could buy, which was a Danish Vectron.
So Jean put up a video though, right?
Yeah, Jean put up a little video of this Danish locomotive running.
Cool.
He needs to get some more of his stuff out there.
Yeah, he does.
Sheriff of Nottingham is very naughty. Yep. All right, well, we should start.
Yeah, we need to start wrapping it up. I got to pretty myself up.
You don't have to pretty yourself up. You're already pretty.
Thank you. It's nice.
Oh, they all
hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. Yep, we're back. We're back from Germany.
Back in America, yeah.
We did notice that you posted quite a few videos, but
that's good.
The 4 weeks we were in Germany and Denmark, we just cannot catch YouTube.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have to squishy you.
All right, I gotta shut the guys down off below too. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. What time did you set it for?
6:30 and 6:45. I have to text. They text me. I have to text them when we're there. Right now, it's an hour and 14 minutes, but I'm hoping that's just because we're not there. Oh,
she said that's how long the waiting list is.
Well, I think it is right now.
That's terrible.
It is terrible, and if it's too long, we're still not going to eat it.
Right. Well, I thought you went on a list.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever.
So.
Technology.
We're talking in circles, kids.
We are a bit.
I gotta get this. Where's the one? Where's the one?
What do you do about?
I gotta pull this up. That's what I'm looking for.
Good. Okay.
All right. Well, we have returned. We're back.
We're back.
And apparently, I missed one little bit.
Oh, you kept the beard. You just trimmed it.
Yeah, I just trimmed it, and I got rid of the eye poker.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll grow back, but I was shaving under here and I slipped and went up and took half a bit off, so I had to take it all off
your
to fix
face
it.
Because it's hot.
Yeah, but I grew it back and I've liked how it's looked, so I kept it. Sorry for discussing facial hair.
To grow it.
I normally don't have a beard. I just have a goatee.
It's a picture, Anthony. Like that.
Oh, I was running. I bought 3 new locomotives,
He's got some videos.
5 or
out,
6
so.
new freight cars, and a bunch of other
One
little
video
goodies.
showing what he had, and then he's going to do his
just have
thing
to
out
see on
tomorrow.
my channel. I'm putting videos up. So anyhow, it is that 6 o'clock
Oh,
time.
I
Actually,
bet.
it's a little more than 6 o'clock. So
Yeah.
on behalf of all of
Us.
Germany and Denmark, and on behalf of us, I want to thank you all for joining us again. It's nice to be back home. It was great being
Yeah.
in Germany and Denmark.
It
for a
sure
month,
was. We had a blast.
But yeah,
Knock
I
it
got
off,
some cool
Sean.
stuff, saw some cool things.
Yeah.
Stuff will eventually start appearing on Joyce's channel about the general trips.
The trip. So
And
if you haven't
then,
subscribe to me so you
I
can
am
see
making
our
a video. I am making a
vacation
video
videos.
about our visit to. I'm making a video about our visit to Miniature Wonderland.
Mhm.
It'll be a long one, but you
That'll
can't
be
do
on
Miniature Wonderland
Anthony's,
short.
yeah.
That'll be on my channel.
Mhm.
So it was wonderful to have you all back here again. Although we saw most of you on our shorter live streams.
We did. Yeah.
But it's nice to have everybody here.
It is.
So we're gonna go celebrate 38 years of annoying each other.
You want to call it that?
Legally annoying. There was the 4 years before where it was just
It wasn't illegal.
it wasn't illegal, just wasn't official.
There we go.
38 years married, 42 years together.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It
Damn,
is.
that's a long time.
It is a long time. We must be
So-
getting old.
We got to say it. Auf Wiedersehen
Choose.
and happy trains. Take care, everybody.
Bye. 2 people do that for us.
We were taking too long to get to it.